not do an offensive Asian impression. I will not do an offensive Asian impression. I will not do an... hello! Die racist! Yeah! Alright, welcome back. I'm Captain Xavier. It's Friday. We're doing Q&A. I'm joined by my friend John, who is here working on one of his blasters. John, if you're not familiar with him, is the master of all things jank and bullpup. This man would bullpup his own mother, given half a chance.
That's disgusting.
What the verb to bullpup means to you?
That sounds disgusting.
You're weird. Anyway, he was already in my shop working, so I decided to draft him for the Q&A. So, here we go. Caleb Carter asks, what is your ideal complete custom blaster only abiding by the laws of physics?
Mine?
Yes.
Oh.
It says any ammo type. Whatever it is, it needs more DACA. I'm actually currently building my ideal blaster, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's not done yet. But John's seen it, and he made this face. I was there, I saw the whole thing. Santa Diz says, if you want to use AA batteries, do you have to have stock motors? No, actually there's a number of motors that you can use that are upgrades but can run on AA's. Honey Badgers, I believe, can run on AA's.
I believe any motor that runs off of the amperage that the batteries put out.
Yeah, so it depends on the motors. There are ones, you just have to do a little research. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Honey Badgers are one. Generally, the 6-volt motors can generally run on AA's. If you want to go up to the 12-volt motors, then you need something that puts out 12 volts, so IMRs or LiPos. Mitchell Hansen asks, if I wanted to make a Boba Fett blaster out of Nerf, what would you recommend for the base blaster? I would actually, they do make several toy Boba Fett blasters that just make noise. I would get one of those and put Nerf internals into it.
Just like an XBZ in there.
Yeah, you could put an XBZ. You could you could put any of the single shot blasters probably in there. You could probably, if you really wanted to, put flywheels in it, but then you're really going to mess up the design. Polar Flare 913, can you make a video about speed loaders for the rough cut? Yes, I know there's actually ones that are 3D printed that have a rail attached that holds the speed loaders, and then you just pop the speed loader off and load from it. I don't know who makes them or where they're available from. They're probably on Thingiverse. Bennett Baldwin. Cap, what do you think of the idea of a chain-fed shotgun, such as a Vulcan with sledge fire shells? That would be cool. I would love to see a Vulcan that had a belt that was made out of sledge fire shells. Getting... I mean, I love the idea. Mechanically, it would be a nightmare because you'd need a much bigger plunger tube to be able to fire that many. And I have a really heavy spring, and getting a full auto... Though he doesn't say full auto. So if it was belt-fed but manually primed, because the Vulcan has manual prime.
I can see it working a lot better if the magazines were made custom, so they're not triangular. They're circular.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect cylinder.
Yeah, well, you could put a cylinder around sledge fire shells and then connect them together in a chain. And you'd have to expand the plunger tube in a Vulcan, and you'd have to make it just use the manual prime. But I think it would actually could be done. You wouldn't have great range, but the Vulcan doesn't have great range anyway. I think it could be done. I think it'd be a lot of fun. 8.no. Have you ever considered hiding a rubble jolt thing in your beard? No, but I have now. I may have to make a little beard holster.
A scarf that goes around your neck with a little holster in it.
Yeah, hiding it behind my beard.
Yep, just grow your beard out.
Let it grow back out. It was a lot longer, but I finally trimmed it because it got too warm.
You'd be the Chuck Norris of Nerf.
Voidwalker, Captain, which do you recommend for a novice swordsman? A sword and shield or two-handed longsword? Definitely sword and shield. The two-handed sword techniques are typically dueling techniques, and actually take a lot of drill to really get good at. And if you're fighting somebody who knows what they're doing, a shield's going to protect you a lot better, because also you can use both hands, which is an advantage. But for beginning, definitely I would recommend sword and shield. Though it ultimately is going to depend on who you're fighting, what system you're fighting, what style is being taught. There's all sorts of things. When in my... mercenary company, whenever we trained new people, day one, we trained him in everything. We trained him in single sword, sword and board, dual sword, polearm, all in day one just to get them used to it. And then from there, they could specialize if they wanted to. But everybody in my company was expected to be able to fight with anything. So at any point in any battle, I could point at any one of my army and say, you, take up the polearm when the polearmer got shot. Because I didn't want to be in the middle of a battle, point at someone and say, pick up the pole, and then go, I don't know how to use it. I wanted, yes, sir, and grab it and have them, be able to implement it properly. So, diversify is what I really recommend. MechWarrior 141. Have you ever heard of the author Harry Turtledove?
Oh, I love Harry Turtledove.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
He's an alternate history author. Yeah, so I believe
Alien invasion during World War II,
yeah.
Civil War because of AK-47s?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever read any. I have heard of one of them. A friend of mine wrote a short story, and I think in high school.
His most popular one, I can't remember the name of the book series I did, but it was about World War II and the Nazis winning it.
Mm.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of like Man on a High Tower.
There's a TV series about that. Maybe it may be based on this, actually. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine in high school, he wrote a short story about a National Guard unit in Texas that was on, their base was built on top of a science labby thing, and it took them all back in time to the Battle of the Alamo. And they were transported back, but the lab wasn't there. So they were pretty sure we're not getting home. So they decided, heck with it, let's go mess with history. So they brought their machine guns and their attack helicopter to the Battle of the Alamo and thoroughly messed with history. Joey Hope, Cap, are you an earbud or headphone person, and why? I use both. At my computer table, or a computer, I actually have full headphones. But when I'm in the car, I use earbuds because I can just put the one in and still be able to hear while I drive.
Yeah, I don't have a preference either.
Creed King 18, what is your word on pole weapons? My favorite polearm is the Bill, also known as a Gizarm. It is a wicked, wicked-looking polearm. It's got a spike at the top, a spike on the back, a big curved blade for hooking knights and pulling them off their horses, and spikes for piercing armor, spear for piercing horses and infantry. Started out as a tree pruning implement. When you called up your peasants, they took whatever they had. They didn't have real weapons, so they took their farming implements, because a lot of them are good for killing. And the knights saw how well it worked, and the men-at-arms saw how well it worked, and they went, can you make me one with more pointy bits? And a tassel. And that's kind of how the build came about. I really like them. The downside of pole weapons is you can't use a shield, which leaves you very exposed to archers. But if you have shield men to protect your pole armors, then, when the volley comes in, the pole armors duck behind the shield wall, and then you re-engage. This is the style that me and my company use. We use what we call combined arms warfare. So we have a shield wall, we have pole armors, we have archers, all of our shield men have javelins, all of our pole armors have javelins. Everybody has swords, so if they, lose a limb, they can pull a sword and keep fighting. Yeah, so polearms are great because the further away you can kill your opponent, the better. The downside of a polearm is they work great when your opponent's 5 feet away. They don't work so great when your opponent's 5 inches away. Thus, carry a secondary weapon. Travis Shea, do you think the idea of an elite stampede or otherwise improved automatic springer? Yes, for the love of God, give us an elite stampede.
Hasbro, if you're watching, please.
Do it.
Begging you.
Mr. Rez, what style of loadout do you think would be the most fun for you to play? The tank, the ninja, the knight, the commando, or the guy who throws rubber chickens at people? I have genuinely taken the field in full plate armor, armed with a rubber chicken. Wait, no, not in plate. In rapier, I took a rubber chicken. And I won. The final blow was scored with the rubber chicken. Got in, parried, bound him up, and then just beat him about the head and shoulders with the rubber chicken until he submitted. Later, in the steel tournament, I took the field armed with a giant cleaver and a cast iron skillet, and then a chef hat and my leather apron on over my plate. It was the Tournament of Fools. Nerf? But for Nerf, well, the most fun, the rubber chicken would definitely be the most fun, because
someone who would run a rubber chicken.
I'd run a rubber chicken in a war. I actually have the rubber chicken launcher, that little catapult thing that I got at Goodwill. Turns out it's supposed to launch rubber chickens. There's different ones that launch different things, but they're all color-coded. But the yellow and red one was the chicken chucker. So that would be fun if I could actually get ammo for it, but you'd have like 2 rounds and you'd lose them 3 seconds in.
We should get Brett to run a rubber chicken and you along with him and try to see how
we
long
could
he
duel
lasts.
chickens.
Yeah, just duel chickens.
That would be fun. Taylor Bloomquist. I don't have a Dremel. Can I just use some flywheels to grind stuff off?
No.
Well, depending on what you put on the flywheel. Arguably, I mean, if you're just talking about the motor, yeah. If you put a grinder onto a flywheel motor and hooked it up to a battery, yeah, that would work. Wouldn't work very well.
I'm thinking it wouldn't have enough torque to actually work.
Depends on which one you were using.
Oh, that's true.
Stock ones, probably not. But if you used a 180, yeah, you could make a grinder out of a 180.
It might work.
It wouldn't work as well as a Dremel, but it'd work better than nothing. Brandon Gibney, what is your favorite Lego set? I'd probably have to argue that I'm still most partial to the Black Seas Barracuda. That was one that I wanted for many, many years as a child, and finally, when they re-released it, I believe, I was finally able to buy it, and I remember when it came in, and that was a wonderful day for me. John, do you have a favorite Lego set?
I don't have a favorite set. Ooh, actually, I have a lot. It's the Poe Dameron X-Wing. Oh yeah, that's a good one. But growing up, my favorite was always Exoforce, because who doesn't like giant robots? I was sad when they discontinued it, though.
I forget how young you are.
Yeah.
Lego and stuff. Cap, cross bolt, or tri-strike? Tri-strike. It's got a grenade launcher, mega launcher.
Crossbolt is
Crossbolt is actually, it's stock, it's pretty lousy, but it can be modified nicely. The tri-strike is one of the best blasters out of the box for magazine primed blasters.
And then
Springers.
When you modify it.
Yeah, then once you modify it, it's wicked powerful.
Even better.
Ken Rooks, have you seen the Worker Retaliator shell? New breeches and expanded plunger tube? If so, what are your thoughts? You probably looked into this more than I have.
Yes, I have. And, well, the only thing different per se is that it gives you the proper space for an expanded plunger tube without having to do too much shell modification. And it has an AK style mag release, so instead of using your finger, to pull, you just use your thumb. I mean, but other than that, it's a really expensive shell for a Retaliator knockoff. I would just use a Retaliator and just modify it and just save me the extra bucks. Although the shell itself, with the complete, SIG expansion on it, does look really nice.
Jonathan Hamilton, hey Cap, what's your favorite 5 anime? Have you seen Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Yes, I have. Top 5. Probably Full Metal Alchemist would definitely be on the list. Trigun would be on the list. I liked Escaflowne.
Ooh, I love Escaflowne.
I tried to watch Evangelion. I never finished it.
How are we friends?
I got to the last 3 episodes and realized, oh, they're all aliens.
You're not missing much.
I'm okay. I see where this goes.
They're not aliens. It's just they just did not end the series well.
Yeah.
The movies are fantastic, though.
No, that's what I heard. I think what somebody said I needed to watch it, so I watched. They said watch up to episode 23, and then watch the movies, and then don't bother with the last 2.
Don't bother with the last 2 episodes.
But I don't remember where I left off. I'll admit to still being a Dragon Ball fan.
I never got into Dragon Ball.
I'm really liking the new stuff. Dragon Ball Super is actually pretty cool. Hellsing. I liked Hellsing. Hunter x Hunter, I think I watched most of that. Gurren Lagann, I was watching that for a while.
I love Gurren Lagann. It's the most over-the-top anime you'll ever see.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
I liked the Vampire Hunter D. Both of those. Trinity Blood, I think I watched that.
But your top 5, though.
I've forgotten how many we've said so far.
You've named about
10 probably. No idea. I don't generally take the time to make top 5 lists.
I think my top 5 would be Eureka 7 would take the number 1 slot.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a really good one. Yeah, it's a coming of age story. But then again, most anime are.
They are, which is probably why I don't enjoy them as much as I should. Being a curmudgeonly old man, the whiny 12-year-old doesn't want to be a superhero really doesn't do it for me. Now, if I were a whiny 12-year-old who wished I was a superhero, I would probably enjoy it more. That's why I like Trigun.
Yeah. I do love Gundam. Gundam has always been one of my favorites. Macross has always been one of my favorites. Then again, like I'd have to name a specific one, which I can't because it's like they have a pantheon spanning over like 30 years. So it's like, no thank you. I like Sword Art, but it's not one of my favorites. Attack on Titan. You seen Attack on Titan?
I started that one too, and
it's
like,
so good.
That's a lot of blood. Oh, the one that I actually have been enjoying, the one on Netflix. What's it called? Castlevania?
Ooh, Castle. That's not really anime though. It's
The lines have blurred now on what is and isn't.
Yeah.
The Devil is a part-timer. I actually really enjoyed that one. Lucas Keene, Captain, is this real life or is it just fantasy?
Caught in a landslide.
Yeah, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look to the skies and see I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy. Because I'm easy come, easy go. Little high, little low. Anyway, the wind blows. Doesn't really matter to me. Barbro Studios. How do you take apart a barricade flywheel / motor cage? Here's what I recommend.
Just trash it.
Yeah, I've never actually tried, so I really haven't the foggiest idea. I've taken, the only barricades I've used were for integrations, and I pretty much took a bandsaw through the flywheel cage. Which I understand is kind of one way to do it, just go around the outside. You can do it with a razor blade, you can try popping it. You obviously aren't going to want to try the other ways of getting rid of solvent weld, which is boiling it, because there's motors in there.
Suggest.
Well, if you're replacing the motors and you don't care what happened to the stock ones, you can try that and see if it'll fall apart. If not, I'd look for a tutorial, but I've never done it, so I really couldn't tell you. Isaiah Bridge, what are your thoughts on making a Retaliator bolt action, and why? Do you mean just putting a bolt onto the side of a Retaliator?
Worker has kits for that.
Yeah, it's neat. I definitely prefer that to the top prime, though I would much prefer a pump action one, but if you didn't have a pump action kit, adding a bolt would make it easier to prime, I think.
The pump action kit's more structurally sound than
yeah, obviously, because you can then put in a heavier spring and you have even compression as opposed to just one side, which is not as good if you're doing a heavy. Corporal Bodie, how do you get free stuff? Well, apparently you start a YouTube channel and get some followers and people just start mailing you things. Brett hasn't even posted a mailing address, and so people are sending me stuff to give to him. So, have a YouTube channel. Do awesome things. John here needs to start one.
Oh, I have one. I just haven't done anything with it yet.
Should all go spam his channel until he starts making videos.
I mean,
do it. Santa Diz, what is your Lego channel? Captain Xavier's Lego channel. AKA Gainsey. Hey Cap, are those metal Stampede gears custom made or are they sold somewhere? I assume they're sold somewhere, but I don't know where because they were mailed to me. I can ask the guy who sent them to me and see if he has the contact info for them. Jesse Nunez, do you think it would be possible to make a rival drum like the Vortex, and would it be practical? I think it would actually be the easiest blaster to make a drum for, honestly. For a lot of reasons. Because the balls are universally shaped, as opposed to a dart where they have to go in a specific way. I think it would be really, really easy. I'm actually very, very surprised Nerf has not come out with a high-capacity rival magazine yet. The highest they've gone is 12. I think it would be really easy to do a spiral drum mag.
What about a spiral drum mag?
Yeah, no, some kind of a magazine. Like, yes, the Nemesis is high capacity and the Artemis is high capacity, but they're not removable magazines where you can put in a new one.
Chaos?
The Chaos, yeah.
It's got a 40-round
magazine. Yeah, so it's definitely possible. Making one that's shaped more like a drum, I think would be easy to do.
Like a PP-19?
Or just like the Vortex one, where it's stacks, rotate, rotate. It would actually, once again, be easier because they're much smaller than Vortex discs.
Just have it in a coil.
They're less around this way, and then taller, so you wouldn't be able to stack as many, but you could have more stacks in a same area. I think Nerf needs to do that. They need to make a drum.
Just make it like 3 across in either way, and then just having like a single you know, like have a cylinder inside with a spring in it and just push it.
Yeah, I think so. You could have a corkscrew
like a corkscrew
tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of ways you could do it, and I'm, like I said, kind of surprised Nerf hasn't. But they've just decided to go with high-capacity hoppers instead, which admittedly is a lot easier engineering-wise, but not as easy to reload on the fly. Christian TD85. So much happiness anyways. With the new Raven, are you going to ever build a Straven, or are you still against it? I am still against it. The fact that they now have a white one does not alter the fact that I believe destroying a Raven to make a stock for a Strife is heretical to the gods of war.
It's still more expensive than the original Raven was, so...
Yeah, now, somebody earlier actually mentioned an idea that I do like, and somebody's probably done it, but I've never seen it, and that is having the Raven still be functional, and the Strife is an afterburner for it. That I would fully support and would be awesome. So the Raven is, you're using its magazine well as the functional magwell, and the Strife's magwell is now decoration. Which it wouldn't be that difficult to alter the Strife magazine well so that it held a magazine without blocking the barrel. You just have to lower the catch mechanism. That I would be okay with, and I think somebody actually asked that earlier. Yes, if you could make it so that it was still functional, that would be cool. But just destroying it to make a magwell, to make a magazine holder stock, is ridiculous. The regulator stock will hold a magazine. The modulus stock will hold a magazine. You can use a crossbolt as your instead of a Raven, and it looks pretty much the same and isn't destroying a Raven. So no, I'm still against them. Just because they've made a white one doesn't alter my opinion on that.
Kill crossbolts instead.
Jesse Nunez, again, do you like the Lego movies? Yes, I liked the Lego movie a great deal. I have not seen the Ninjago one, and I haven't seen any of the Batman ones, but I've heard good things. But what I really like is that the sets that have been created as a result of the movies are some of the best sets that LEGO has produced in a decade. The Ninjago sets for the movie are amazing. I wasn't a huge fan of Ninjago when it first came out, because I prefer the historical ninja and samurai line they had that was actually just part of the castle line. And so the kind of anime-ish nature of Ninjago didn't really tickle my fancy. But seeing the sets that have come out more recently as a result of the movie, they're absolutely amazing build quality, and I love them. So, I like the movies, especially for that. I will actually be building a set from the Lego movie. A friend of mine owned it and brought it by for me to build, so that'll be part of Lego by the book, but I have no idea when I'll get around to it. If you're wondering why I haven't been putting out a lot of movies in the last week and a half, it's because I've been working on an amazing build. A build that made John make this face. So, eventually I will get that finished. Right now I'm waiting for parts. So while I'm waiting for the parts to arrive, I will hopefully get some more videos produced and put out. Got a bunch of Lego videos. And hopefully a Nerf video. So, look forward to that. I think we've answered enough questions. Time for swag. John needs to go home to his wife.
Bye!
Alright, well, compared to last week, I have a fairly mellow haul, which is nice, because quite frankly, I'm running out of room. I've got a couple of letters, a couple of small packages, one big package. Many of them sound of happiness. We will start with the letter. We have a letter from Cody Cash. Dear Cap, I'm your biggest fan. I'm 12 years old. I found a Stampede at a Goodwill, but it's missing its battery tray. Do you happen to have a spare battery tray? I might. I will check my bins, and I will have to get back to you. Alright, next we have this letter, which has my a Zombie Strike seal on it. This is from Douglas Martin. And then has a seal sticker on the inside. That is pretty groovy. Dear Chaylo, hello, my name is Doug, and I am from New York, not New York City like everyone thinks. I wanted to write to you with questions to make sure they got answered. 1. Would you put a hook on the side of your gear so that you could prime blasters with direct prime, like the Nightfinder, sort of like attached to the pants, so you could use your shield? I actually did this, as a matter of fact. I got the hook and I tried hooking it into the molly on my gear so that I could hook it. Unfortunately, with a K26, it was a little too stout and I was afraid it was going to rip the molly. I might be able to attach it to a belt if I actually had a proper leather belt and attached it to that. or if I hooked it to a nylon strap that I then fed up through the molly up over my shoulders so that it was a little bit more powerful. But I hadn't really considered how useful that would be when using a shield. It'd still be kind of difficult to reload, but you would at least be able to prime one-handed. So yeah, that is a good idea, and I have considered it. There is a gun like the Magnum that shoots little rubber bullets. Huh. And I thought the cylinder would be good for an absolver. However, I do not know the name, so you may have to do some research. Sounds neat. Getting the ammo would probably be the hard part, and finding the ammo afterwards. Could you make a long arm so that it primes and fires with a trigger pull so that you can dual wield 2 of them? I doubt it. You might be able to figure out how to put the internals from a Snapfire 8 in it, but I don't think it would fit very well. I think that would be way more trouble than it would ever be worth. You definitely never get a whole lot of power out of it. But it might be worth a try. And I hope that you are able to answer these questions, as I would greatly enjoy if you did. I greatly enjoy your videos and find myself watching your videos instead of doing homework. No, homework first, always. That's how you get a big fancy job like me, and then you can do this with your spare time. I actually fixed my friend's strike fire watching her videos. Awesome, glad I helped. I hope to come up with more questions soon and write again. Keep up the good work. Yours, subscribe, Doug. P.S. The notch on the plunger tube came from my friend's blaster. The what now? It may have fallen out of the letter. P.P.S. How would you feel about adapting a pressure washer to fire Nerf and just see how far and powerful you could get it? I think that would be kind of interesting. I actually did vaguely have an idea to use a compressor, like a massive compressor, to power a Vulcan, and then just take out the plunger entirely and just have a solid stream of air that's going through the barrel, and then the gun just cycles, and when it hits a dart, it'd fire it. Never actually tested it, and in hindsight, it probably wouldn't work, but it's a neat idea. Thank you for the letter, Doug. I like the envelope. That is very cool. It's in McCullough. All right, let's get to some packages. We'll start with this one. This one is from Bricks and Figs Toy Shop, which either means they're sending me random stuff or somebody's ordering stuff through them and sending it directly to me. Either is acceptable to me. It appears to be staircases. Presumably somebody feels that I need proper spiral staircases somewhere in one of my builds. I like that. I've got some dark gray and some light gray, but I didn't have any of this dark tan, so I can think of a couple places that might just come in handy. No other explanations, though. Hopefully somebody will inform me what this is all about. Somebody mentioned that I need to keep better track of who sends me what, and they're right, so I'm actually going to start keeping a log of that. But it doesn't help when there's no information. All right, what do we got here? Mini toys. It's a minifig. No explanation. Let's see what's in here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A Viking shield maiden. That is really, really cool. Yes, I know the Vikings didn't actually have horns on their helmet, which I found weird that Lego made Viking sets and had horns on their helmets. They're a Danish company. You would think they would know better, but they're selling to us uneducated Americans, and we don't know better. So I did not have this one, I don't think. My co-worker at the office I worked at, our boss would give us minifigures to put on our desk, which is why I still do that in my office now. And my coworker had this one, but I didn't. So that is pretty cool. That will definitely fit in my my dioramas because that's very lovely. So whoever sent me that, thank you. I have some theories, but no proof. What do we got here? Boojay Gadgets. It's squishy, whatever it is. It would appear to be a very fine Santa hat. No doubt, I believe this was sent to me by my good friend Sparky Santos, who is my own private Lego Santa Claus right now. So I will be saving this for a Q&A around Christmas. So look forward to that. That is... I like it. It's very shiny. Very cool. Thank you. From Liv and Lexi. Ooh. Ninjago. This will be the first... I think... No, that's right. I got the Junior's Ninjago, but I didn't have this one. The Cowler Dragon. Does that stuff actually glow in the dark? If it is super, super cool. I will definitely build this as part of Lego by the Book along with the Junior one, just so I'll have some more Ninjago to do. That is super cool. Liv and Lexi, you're going in the book. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. I think it's actually Ninjago. For some reason I always say Ninjago. But, Masters of Spinjitzu. I like the brick-built dragon. That is actually pretty neat. And the baddie. I like the look of him. Alright, so that will be fun to build. Alright, next up, from Thomas Rieck in Deutschland has sent me something. Knight's Kingdom Janko. So it looks like it's just a minifigure with his weapons. Interesting. I like that shield. Not sure how crazy I am about pastel armor, but they did paint armor back then, back in the medieval times, and so as a display kind of piece, that's actually really cool. I really like that shield. He'll probably end up, oh, I think I know where I'll put him. Yeah. I know where he's going to go. Thank you for that, Thomas. Very, very cool. All right, and finally the big one. That Sounds of Happiness. Oh, man. Sure enough. All right, we have a Lego Creator 3-in-1 dinosaur kit. Looks like there's some sort of a big T-Rexy looking fellow, a pterodactyl, and a triceratops. I like how they use the horns from the triceratops to make a little rib cage for the big set. That is pretty cool. Lego Creator, a brick-built boat, also 3-in-1. It's got the exploration ship with its submarine. It has a large plane, and then it has a larger submarine. Very cool. Those will be a neat pair to do. Well, I'll probably do them each separately and build all 3 of the sets. Oh, see, now this is a Ninjago set I was actually considering getting just for the armor, because the armor on the bad guys looks amazing. And I like the villains, the snake villains. Like I said, early Ninjago I was not a huge fan of, but the newer stuff I love. And I don't know what this urn-looking thing is, but that is definitely really cool. And I like all the weapons. Very, very cool. Now I've got a bunch of Ninjago, and I'll be able to do some by-the-book stuff. Oh, we'll get to that one in just a second. And what on earth? So this is another one from the movie, and since I haven't seen the movie, I really have no idea what's going on in this set, but it's more Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu, Cryptarium Prison Outbreak, or Breakout. I see, so these are all villains. Some sort of a robot-y looking dude, a pirate, which is fantastic. The pirate in the prison get-up. A ninja. Oh, it's one of the dual body guys. Nice, I was hoping to get one of those. Also, in prison duds. I actually have a set of those prison duds. My mother works in a prison, and so I actually have one. That is really, really neat. I really am going to have to watch the movies now, because the stuff that's coming out as a result of the movies is really neat, but I have no frame of reference for it. And then we have a minifigure that definitely needs to get built for reasons you will understand in a moment. I was actually genuinely wondering when I built the previous minifig if this minifig existed. And clearly it does. So to go along with my Shield Maiden, I have a Viking Warrior as well. A beautiful matched set. That is fantastic. I actually really love that the robes that they made for the female minifigures results in them always being taller than the male minifigures. That just has always amused me slightly. So that is really, really cool. Now I have to decide whether I want to put them into my castle world or put them with my collection in my office. My collection in my office is more ancient. So I've got the Romans and the Egyptians and the Greeks that I've collected from all the minifig series, but I think these ones would actually complement the Spartans that I have, because I have kind of a Valkyrie-looking, but definitely Greek themed, similar to this one, but slightly different. And then I've got on the other side, the Greek. So these two on one side and the Greek woman and man on the other side, I think would match well. I'll have to ponder that, but thank you, Sparky, for I assume Sparky. I may be jumping to conclusions. Sparky. Nope. Gifts from Sparky, because Sparky is awesome. So I assume you sent me both of these. If someone else sent me this, do let me know, because I would like to make sure that you get credit. Sparky, as always, you're awesome. At this point, you do realize you're sending me Legos faster than I can get them built, because I've been so busy with my massive, massive builds. But thank you so much for all of this. I will hopefully find some time to build this weekend. I'm going to a Nerf-themed birthday party tomorrow for one of my subscribers. I got invited to that, and I'm always up for cake, so definitely planning to go to that tomorrow. Need to get my gear together, figure out what I'm going to take. And then I've been invited to go to a HEMA tournament. I'm not going to be fighting, but my lieutenant is, and so I'll get to watch him fight. And supposedly they have some good times afterwards, so that may end up taking the majority of my weekend, but hopefully somewhere I will find the time to start building all of the amazing gifts you guys have sent me, especially Sparky and the like. So do feel free to keep sending me stuff. I absolutely appreciate it, and as the person said, I will be keeping better track of who has sent me what so that I can give better credit, because that really was a serious failing of mine, and I apologize to the people who have not gotten proper credit for sending me stuff in the past. So going forward, I will hopefully do a better job. I'll also be hopefully doing a better job of keeping track of things that I have told people I would try to send them. If I have promised to send you something and I still haven't gotten it to you, do feel free to send me another email or ping me in the comments or something to keep me up to date. I am now building a database of stuff that I need to work through. Previously, my commissions were all done through PayPal, so I had the PayPal invoices of everything that needed to get done, but a lot of things have now been mailed to me in letters and stuff, and so it's getting harder to keep track of things that I've promised. I think I only have two things in that are actual true commissions that people have paid me money for that I need to finish, and the rest were all kind of requests and I agreed to that I may not have the best of records for. So remind me if I've missed something. Send me stuff if you want. You guys are awesome and this stuff is amazing. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching.